Yeah, we can show that.
I was surprised they didn't even have my name tagged up and stuff.
Linda tonight?
Yeah, she was just setting it up.
Linda's here.
It's the string ready to go where?
Only you. Tyler and Linda, are we up?
We're ready.
Up and ready? Okay, I'm going to call the meeting to order. This is a regular meeting of the Allendale Land Use Board at which formal action will be taken on the items listed on the agenda and upon any other matters which may properly come before the Land Use Board. Requirements of the Open Public Meetings Act have been satisfied through posting on the public bulletin board in the municipal building and the borough website and by publication in the record on December 21, 2020, with copies being sent to the Ridgewood News and Star Ledger. Certain agenda items will be open to the public for comment or testimony, and the board will advise the public when such matters are open for their comment or testimony. Okay, if you join me, we'll do a pledge of allegiance to the flag.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. All right. With the roll call, please.
Board Member Bergen,
Here.
Secretary Delavatio,
Here.
Board Member Davis,
Here.
Board Member Kistner,
Here.
Board Member Lovasolo,
Here.
Councilman Sasso is absent, Vice Chairman Sirico,
Here.
Mayor Bernstein,
Here.
Chairman Quinn,
I'm here.
Alternate Yakarino,
Here.
Alternate Forbes.
Here. Thank you. Good to see an almost full house. And everybody back on the dais. Okay, approve the minutes of August 18th, 2021. Got circulated. Anybody have any comments or updates for them? If not, I'll take a motion to approve.
So
moved, Sarika.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Sorry.
You got a little
No,
quick.
I had a quick question. I asked Linda before. So even though I was out of town, I did listen in on that meeting. I think it was actually mentioned, you guys noted that I was, I think, the only person on the call. Is there a way that can be noted in the minutes, or that does not normally get noted in the minutes?
I'll go to council on that one.
It can be noted in the minutes that you were.
Right, I know it's not like official, it's like
On the
being
call.
here, but okay.
All right, I'll add that.
That would be my only amendment then, addendum.
Okay.
Thank you.
Would that make Suzanne eligible to vote on the one memorialization as well? Might as well get
We
to that.
didn't at the time, so, because it wasn't, it's not. an
That's right, because we
interactive,
that's right, we couldn't hear her.
So you can't
Right.
really
Okay.
retroactively do it, so it's, but it passed as it was, so there's no
Right.
need to add another thing. Just be a notation that you were listening in on that meeting.
Great, thank you.
Okay. All right, back to the minutes of the August 18th.
Oh, I'm sorry,
I'm
did you
sorry.
mean, mean vote on this resolution or the Park and Ivy?
No, no,
No, no,
no, just the overall listening to the minutes.
just the resolution that we're going through tonight.
Oh.
Duffy,
I would,
Leonard and Duffy,
I'd probably have to sign the thing that as if I had listened to it.
yeah,
Right.
I don't think I don't think we should kind of go there.
Yeah.
We don't need to, first off.
yeah.
And second of all, just because since it wasn't interactive, even though Suzanne listened to the entire testimony, well, I mean, it would be the same as listening to a tape. This is all new to us, right? We're all just playing it by ear, but yeah, you kind of, you did attend the meeting. You know, you listened to the tape live.
Yeah.
Then you
I
have to
did.
certify it, but we don't need to.
Maybe going forward, like, we figure that out.
Yes, that's something we can think about.
And go ahead. Ron.
Realize when we stream it, the people online can't.
Correct.
Right.
So if there was a question of it, then I couldn't answer. So
Right.
some clarification.
Everything's not interactive like that.
Yeah, to Ron's point, it's just passive viewing.
Okay. We'll go back to the minutes of the 18th of August. And
So,
we have a
Mr.
motion
Chairman,
to approve.
I have a motion to approve the minutes with the notation. Chris, okay,
Yes.
that Suzanne listened to the minutes,
Listen to the meeting live.
listen to the meeting live. Okay? That's my motion.
Second, Chair, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Ron. Linda, you've got that for the
Yes.
amendment of the minutes? Okay.
Thank
All right.
you.
We'll vote on the minutes. We have a second. Any discussion? If not, we'll go to a vote.
Who was the motion and the second on this?
I had the motion.
Sirico and Kistner, second. No, you were busy taking notes.
Board Member Bergen,
Yes.
Board Member Kistner,
Yes.
Vice Chairman Sirico,
Yes.
Chairman Quinn,
Yes.
Alternate Yakarino,
Yes.
Alternate Forbes.
Yes.
Okay, the minutes are approved. Okay, the next matter on the agenda is a resolution, Land Use Board 2021-10. Applicants Elizabeth Leonard and David Duffy, 15 Crescent Place, Allendale, New Jersey. And it was a proposed addition renovation to an existing single-family residence with existing nonconformities. Chris, you want to
Okay.
paraphrase the
Sure.
resolution?
Resolution 21-18 was the memorialization of the approval of the variance relief for Leonard Duffy at the 402 Lot 7, which is 15 Crescent Place. They were seeking an proposed addition and renovation to the premises This is a hardship variance relief in light of the size lot, placement of the home. Testimony taken from the applicant's professional, and based upon that, the board determined to grant the variance as a hardship variance and adopted the testimony of applicants and their professionals. There are conditions to approval that they pay all their fees and assessments due to the borough for the review of plans. Also to work with the borough engineer in the event any field adjustments are required for proper construction of the proposed addition, including adjustments to drainage, connection to seepage pits, stormwater management, soil movement, so as not to negatively impact any surrounding properties, and to prepare and submit an as-built survey plot and plan as a condition of this. Presented for review and
Thank you, Chris. Okay, we have a motion to approve the resolution.
So move, Sirico.
Okay. We have a second on the motion.
Second. Melissa.
Melissa got the second. Okay, any discussion? If not, we'll move to a vote.
Board Member Bergen,
Yes.
Board Member Kistner,
Yes.
Vice Chairman Sirico.
Yes.
Chairman Quinn,
Yes?
alternate Yakarino,
Yes.
alternate Forbes.
yes.
Okay, the motion carries. Who's first on the motion?
Me.
Me. Okay, me. That's all right. I'll make sure I got it. Thanks, Joe.
So fix the,
Yeah, I didn't do the absence of the, okay, good, thank you. Appreciate it. Make sure I got, checking the right boxes. Okay. We have two public hearings on the agenda this evening. First one is an application, Land Use Board 2021-11. Applicant Jennifer and Samuel Higgins, 2 Carteret Road, Block 1403, Lot 19, and it's a proposed second floor addition of existing family residential use, and we have rear and side yard setbacks and non-conformities. So the applicant's here, and they're professional. We'll ask you to step up, speak into the microphone so we can record it. Before we get started, I'll ask our attorney to see if all the filings and notifications are in order.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have reviewed the proposed notice and proposed mailings for Jennifer and Samuel Higgins. Parkway Road. The mailings and public notices are in order, and so we are ready to proceed this evening.
Thank you. Me to swear people in?
I would swear everybody in. If everyone going to testify? All
Yes.
right. So if you just raise your right hands. You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth through the course of this application?
I do. Thank you. Okay. Need your name and address for the record.
Sure. My name is Kevin Spink, SP as in Peter, INK, from Kanzani Associate Architects, 80 East Ridgewood Avenue in Paramus, New Jersey.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. I'll turn the microphone over to you and tell us what you want to do and what you're proposing.
Okay, first I would like to notify you that there was a error on the site plan that we have drawn, so some of the numbers have changed. All of the numbers have changed in the benefit of there is less of a variance in every condition. I have revised drawings here this evening for you, if I could hand them out to you.
Yeah. Yeah, okay, fine.
Before you start, if you could just give us a brief background on your professional qualifications.
Currently, I have a bachelor's degree of architecture from New Jersey Institute of Technology. I am a licensed architect in good standing in the state of New Jersey. I have worked for the firm of Kinzani Associate Architects for the past 26 years.
Been accepted by an expert in boards in Bergen County and state of New Jersey. By, architectural aspects of this application, so go ahead.
Just to go over the changes, we have bubbled them on the revised site plan and the zoning data box. The reason for the discrepancy was we were given a site plan at the original beginning of the project. A new site plan has been created. The site plan was from 2009. A new site engineer had gone out, did a new engineer drawing in July 21st of 21. On the site, there had been a shed that is no longer there. That shed was 134.2 square feet. So in our calculations, you add that as part of the gross area, which when you multiply that times the 0.008 feet to determine your setbacks, our setback has changed. So instead of being, as the original drawing showed, the side yard setback at 38.192 feet, it's now 37.12. So it is actually approximately a foot less. So our encroachment is a foot less. Also on the front yard setback of our original drawing had the setback at 51.19 feet to the house. The new site plan actually shows it at 51.2, so that is a little slight discrepancy. None of it causes an issue on the variances. With the changes for all of this, the FAR changed from 11% to 10.96%. Our impervious coverage on the existing house went from 12.3 to 12.01, and the proposed impervious went from 13% to 12.44%. Again, none of those are variances. I just wanted to bring that up to you that it has changed and is in the better for our currently the property is a odd shape, is triangular in nature. With the positioning of the house, the rear of the house was always in variance. It always extended over the 50-foot setback. The original side yard setback would have been 25 feet because the house was originally 3,590 square feet. So we were under the 3,000, so 25 was the setback. With the new additions that we're looking to put on at the second floor, it creates the hardship that we are now required to be the 32.6 feet, or I'm sorry, the 37.12 feet. Our second floor addition that we're putting on, we have laid it out so that the second floor does not extend into the variances. We're actually pulling the second floors back. We're trying to make the house have a lower look than your normal house. We put a second floor roof on the second floor, so we've got long sweeping roofs, 14 pitches. So the entire second floor of the house is actually built into the roof itself. So the house has a much lower field, rather than being a 33 or 35 foot height. We're only at 30 feet in our total height of the house. So it is a much nicer look. And in doing that, we're able to pull the walls in on the second floor. So our walls, which are supporting everything, is actually pulled back in, so we're not over the variance area with the conditions of where the second floor is located. On the first floor, we are adding approximately 35 square feet to the house. It is consisting of a new push out for a linen closet at the front of the house, which would not be in the variance area. We're squaring off. Currently, there's already a box out in the back of the house. We're squaring off a small corner on either side to make our porch at the rear, and we are doing a box out in the garage to create a bay window. So all of that adds up to the additional 35 square feet on the first floor. The rest of it is all a brand new second floor that is going on to the house.
And the garage faces to the side when you pull in.
Yes, the garage doors face to the side, this bay window will face towards
To
the
the
front, correct. Which you can see in the elevation, will have a nice sweeping roof over the top of the bay window, which just, it softens the whole house. In general, I believe that this is gonna be a C1 variance because of the conditions, the hardship of the lot, the shape of the lot, and the fact that the existing placement of the house puts us into variance in both the locations. We have worked as best as we could to keep everything outside of the variances, if you will, with where we're putting our second floor. I believe that this is something that the board should look positively upon.
When you say outside the variances, could you explain what you mean by that?
Yes, with the setback lines, our additions, in every location, we've tried to keep it within where the setback would have been. So the second floor does not extend into the side yard variance. The second floor only extends slightly into the rear yard variance, but it does not extend to the point of where the first floor of the house does.
Or it's closest to the neighbor to the left?
That is correct. And the neighbor to the left on the property, that is actually their driveway side as well.
Yeah.
So we are not right up against the neighbor's house. There's also significant vegetation around the property, so that this does not, it's not really visible from the neighboring properties to see the house.
Give a right side elevation, so that's. Do that for a second.
This would be the right side. This would be the garage doors on the right-hand side.
And left side is close.
Left side elevation, again, all we have is one large dormer projecting out of it. And by the fact, again, the sweeping of the roofs and trying to bring the roofs down to a lower plate, this does not stand up any higher than the 30 feet of the height of the house.
Second floor is basically bedrooms.
That is correct. There are 3 bedrooms on the second floor. There's 3 bedrooms, a large play area, and a storage area over the garage. Which at this point, we're looking at unfinished as attic space, but we have included that square footage into our
In
total.
the calculator.
That's correct. Now, there were some questions that were brought up in the letter.
Yeah. I'll ask Mike Freeland to comment, but if you want to go ahead before he comments, that's fine.
Absolutely, just to put them out of the way, the technical comments specifically were in relation to regarding the appearance of the exterior finishes of the house. The exterior of the house, we were looking at using probably be a GAF style roof shingle, asphalt shingle on the roof, dark in nature and color. The main body of the house will be a hardy plank. We are not sure whether we're going to do a shake or whether it will be a clapboard. At this point, I believe we're actually leaning towards the clapboard at this point.
Okay.
We would be looking at using like an AZAC type material or a Versatex material, which is a fake wood as all the trims. Plans not include exterior lighting. We are looking to add exterior lighting underneath our front porch, so there will be can lights shining down. We're also looking to put can lights into the rear porch. It's a covered porch, so the lights will be shining down. There is the option of putting in some low pathway lighting as landscape lighting. That's it. We're not looking to add any up lighting onto the house at all.
Okay.
In regards to landscaping, at this point, the house has most of its landscaping around it. We're looking to just clean up some of it, probably change it out for some boxwoods and some hydrangeas. And that's pretty much it on the landscaping, because we are not increasing the footprint in any way that would affect it.
You're essentially going over the existing footprint.
That is correct. Stormwater, reduced stormwater. At this point, we're only adding approximately 200 square feet to the overall footprint of the house in general for the overall impervious coverage. At that point, we did not think that there was an issue for stormwater mitigation for the amount of property that we have. If it's something that is a requirement of the board, we would put in a seepage pit that would collect that increase of the 200. That's the answer of all the technical requirements.
Mike, you have some
Just a couple-
explanations for us?
Yeah, a couple of things. I guess number one, we might want to mark this.
Good idea. Let's call this, even though it's marked as A1, we can call it A1, but just saying the revision date is 9/9/21. So we should mark that, since that will be the controlling table in the application, so we'll call this A1 revision date 9/9/21.
And I assume this is the same set of plans that was seen in the application.
That is correct. The only difference is the A1
The
sheet.
A1 sheet.
Correct.
I mean, I think the applicants explain the nature and character of the application. You know, should the board approve the application, there'll be additional steps and other required beyond this. Outline them in my memo under section 4.5. Some of these may not be applicable depending on the size of the disturbance. But one item that we generally look at, specifically when we have the opportunity in front of the board, is to reduce stormwater runoff. We would recommend that particular item be addressed and make sure we address the proper.
Mr. Spink, what we usually do is, as a condition of any approval, we make a condition that the applicants and yourself agree to work with the borough engineer to make any field adjustments that are necessary in order to reduce stormwater runoff from the site, which may or may not include seepage pit or any other modifications that
Absolutely. I believe we would be willing to accept that.
Very good.
condition.
The applicants agree as well.
Yes, we do.
And I guess, you know, they provided testimony with regard to the other questions. Any idea of the color scheme for the house?
Either white or pale gray.
That's the color.
Yeah.
So that's the one.
No black.
No black, no
No.
Thanks, Mike. Questions from the board? I drove over there today and there's a large dumpster. Looks like some renovations are already happening. Is that has anything to do with this plan or is that?
We have permits for kitchen and bath reno, so we started the demo for those.
That's on the first floor anyway.
Yeah.
Because this, if we were to approve it, you have about a month before we memorialize
Yes,
it,
of course.
before you can really get into it.
Correct.
Just that heads up anyway. We'll get that as well from our attorney. Okay, any questions from the board on this? Seems like it's pretty straightforward. Looks like it would fit in the neighborhood to me. Like, around it is a kind of a funky shaped property and the house is situated kind of where it could be in terms of you just have a long sort of right side rear yard extension.
Right.
Directly back here a little tighter, that's all. As I see. And
And
it's-
again,
But
I'm sorry.
that's, to me, it's just basically, building on an L-shaped structure that currently exists.
That is correct.
And your home currently is one level, and the house to your right is 2 levels, and the house to the left is 2 levels. So this will all fit in.
And behind them.
And behind, thank you. Thank you.
I think you did a good job trying to match
Mhm.
the architecture to the houses all around you.
Mhm.
I think that's, we like to see that stuff. I know you mentioned about landscaping, vegetation. It's a nice wooded lot. You guys actually Google open, so that's what I'm looking at. Do you plan on cutting down a lot of the trees, a lot of the vegetation to go up? Because it looks like a lot of it might overhang a little bit. You intend to cut any of that?
Not really. Yeah, not at this point, and it is very wooded line because of the odd shape. It's playing
Mhm.
back behind where the covered patio is, which is open.
So with the second floor addition, with the windows, where they're gonna be and some of the lights on the eaves, do you think you're gonna have an issue with the neighbor behind or on the side being as high as you will be?
No, with the vegetation that's behind the property, I do not believe that you could actually see the house. The few times that I've gone to the site, I could not see the house behind.
I would agree. I want to ask so you put on the record.
Thanks, Joe. Anybody else have comments, questions?
The only comment I had, couple of they've been down there, of course, we were paving a couple of years ago, and the August storm last year.
it really does fit the community either way. And all the neighbors, I'm not gonna, when the storm happened, you guys were all so great, you all came out together, and I remember how nice it was.
No other questions from the board. I'll open to the members of the public wish to be heard on this matter. Seeing and hearing none, I'll bring it back to the board. That's a positive. There's nobody here in opposition. Okay. Any other questions of the board? Any suggestions? Somebody want to make a motion to approve?
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to approve the application for the 2 variances.
Then I'll second.
With the restrictions.
Yes.
As
With the
Mike has
restrictions
noted,
as set
and the
forth.
Potential of a seepage pit if the engineer deems
Correct, as amended.
that's warranted. Okay. Any discussion on the motion? We have a motion and a second.
I second. Sirico.
No other discussion. We'll move to a vote.
Board Member Bergen,
Yes.
Secretary Delavatio,
Yes.
Board Member Davis,
Yes.
Board Member Kistner,
Yes.
Board Member Lovasolo,
Yes.
Vice Chairman Sirico,
Yes.
Mayor Bernstein,
Yes.
Chairman Quinn,
Yes.
alternate Yakarina,
Yes.
alternate Ford.
Yes.
Okay. Motion carries.
Nice
You're
job.
approved.
Good luck.
Thank you very much.
With the
But-
caveat.
Hang on.
One caveat, so at the next meeting, which will be in October, I don't know the date, the resolution memorializing the approval will be passed, presented for approval. And at that time, you'll be able to, pull any permits or start your process on that, but you really can't beforehand. You can submit your application beforehand, but nothing can be issued until the memorialized in October.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Good
you.
luck.
Good luck.
Have a good evening.
One other matter. Okay, the next application is 2021-12, applicant Darius Poco, sorry about that. 146 Park Avenue, Allendale, New York, lot 1703, block 1703, lot 11. And this is for a new residential home with variances for side and front yard setbacks and a FAR. When I read, I think we're proposing to raise the existing home, which it looks like it's in pretty bad shape.
Yes.
And so before we go there, we'll ask if all the notices and whatnot are in order.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, thank you. We have reviewed the notices for publications and the affidavit of mailings, and they are proper and in order. So we are free to proceed with the application after tonight.
Okay. Notice Melissa has stepped away from the dais because I believe you're within 200 feet.
Okay.
Okay. Yes. All right. We do some swearing in here, or?
Yes, Mr. Pocock? Yes. Raise your right hand. You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth through the course of this application?
Yes, I do.
Thank you very much. All right.
I'll ask you if you can explain to the board what you're seeking to do and why you're seeking our approval.
Okay, so I'm seeking to build a new single-family residence, side setback, front setback. Over floor area ratio, variance. And the hardship is the lot is narrow and it kind of narrows in into the middle.
Yep.
So I'm kind of short, and I got a paper street next to me, which kind of gives me that corner lot where
You also have a street behind you as well.
I have 3 streets, yeah.
Yeah.
I border 3 streets.
Right. Are you the current owner?
I am.
So what are you proposing to do?
2-story dwelling. Front porch, 2-car garage, 4 bedrooms. 2.5 baths. We are, covered porch.
got some raising of the existing house.
Yeah, the house is gonna be demolished, so is the shed.
Okay.
I was really planning to take the garage down too, but I'm looking at my, the memo I sent by the engineer.
Yeah, I was a little confused by that because there's a note on one of the drawings,
Yeah, the garage,
Puzo Architects, that says to remove the existing
yeah,
garage, which,
the garage is supposed to go down.
and I know Mike had not noted it, or he noted it was gonna stay, so let's
Yeah.
clear that up because I think it should come down.
Yeah, it's
personally.
coming down.
And
Every
it-
And
structure
it
on the property is
sits
coming
right
down.
on Mallinson,
Yeah.
the street
That's what I was
behind, and
about to say.
I'm sure those neighbors
Although a lot of
don't.
people do take pictures of this. Lot.
Yeah, because if it's an old structure, but,
So that's coming down as well.
okay, so we have that clarified to everyone, that all three structures are coming down.
Then,
The existing.
there's some notes, I mean, there's a few trees that are gonna come down. Kind of way, I mean, all the small ornamental bushes around the house. are gonna go down. As far as the trees, I think only 2 trees are gonna come down.
You plan to take down the tree behind the yellow,
Yeah, behind the shed.
behind the
trees
small
gonna go
shed?
down.
Okay.
I think there's like a blue spruce on the neighboring property. That's gonna come down. And all the trees around the whole entire house. are coming down. Everything else is gonna stay.
So when you say the spruce on the neighboring property, I'm assuming the neighbor is okay with that?
Neighboring next to the park is my other neighbor, so between my house and.
You'll get a permit for that, so
Yes.
the town will, okay, judge that. Okay.
Stormwater, we'll do drainage calculations to see what. See if there's any changes. Soil movement.
Okay.
If we don't disturb more than 5,000 square feet, I do want to get the.
Okay.
That's still planned. That's needed anyway for a new house. We're gonna replace the water and the sewer connections.
I'm assuming This is a pretty old house that's there.
18,
Yeah, okay.
We have new curb lines. We have new curb lines. Yeah. Oh, the finishes. I was gonna do the house white, the black windows, but my neighbor has the same color scheme, so I'm gonna have to probably change that up. I'm gonna probably do a combination of party board, vinyl, and over trim, PVC trim. on the bottom.
Okay.
Everything else, roof, would be typical, yeah.
Okay, asphalt roof.
Aspect roof. The front roof will be the standing seam metal roof. And I have pictures here of what I was gonna do. If you wanna.
Yeah, that's like a decorative. I see that. Yeah, I see that. Yes, yeah. Do we have that? If you have that, that'd be helpful. Give us an idea.
I think I'm gonna change the color scheme because of my neighbor. It might be her, actually.
Yeah, we think we agree with that.
The lighting will be in the front porch, the back porch, and then garage.
Or just to illuminate those sections, those doorways, those entranceways. I did note drawing A2. It looks like the house is shifted slightly from the existing house, slightly more to the left, left side of the
Yeah,
property.
so I kind of wanted the house centered on the property.
Yeah.
I mean, the old house, the width of the old house is pretty much about, well, 2 to 3 feet less than what I'm proposing. Current setback right now is like 24 feet. We really just went for variance with that. the house would look better, you know, center.
What are the variants and what kind of variants are you seeking? Is it hardship?
Side setback, front setback for the paper street. And I'm just a little over the floor area ratio by 2%. The house is 30, living space is about 3,200 square feet. The garage is 530 square feet. Porch, covered porch, that's 215. The front porch is at 105.
It's a two-car garage?
Two-car garage, roughly about 22 by 20.
See here, 22 by.
22 by 20.
Is that the existing access driveway, or do you have to change, shift
I
the
have to put
driveway?
it in the driveway, new curb cut. The curb cut that's there is for the paper street.
Okay.
So the property, there's that curb cut there.
That's how people access
That's
the
how people
property.
access that
Yeah.
street.
Any existing house space, they don't have a garage.
Well, it has no garage, it has. The previous owner used that street as their.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah, I pulled it up here. The cars are always been parked, at
Yeah.
least on that paper street from what I saw.
Board could look at it as bringing it more in compliance with the borough code in that you're adding a functional garage to the property.
It's a requirement.
You know, since it is a requirement, it was existing without a garage. More conformity.
C1 or C2 or?
Well, I think it's an element of the hardship variance that is a component. But I think the hardship that's testified to is existing, pre-existing conditions and the paper street element, which makes it 35 front to that paper street.
Don't mind me asking, have you thought about maybe approaching the county's application? And I don't know. we already have those.
It'd be beneficial for the property.
That would add additional area to the property. Setback. The house.
If the street was vacated, then I would.
Sure, but you could be right.
Right.
Generally, where streets vacated, half.
The adjoining property.
Just particular
Is that how the borough accesses the park, though?
I don't know.
I would think that's probably the only access to get into the Memorial Park.
It is, but. Sometimes you need it. Presented like.
I guess, it's something to think about.
Right.
Obviously, I think what he's one for deviation from the standard. See that in the mayor and council. Board of Education, that was less than the variance. I don't think we should.
Right.
Rely on that to happen. That's the thing.
No, I hear you.
Possibility that maybe
I would, we're gonna put the application here.
Yeah, this application. I agree. I'm not sure if people use that as a cut through.
I don't even think they probably think it's the driveway for the house.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, I don't
true.
think
It's
they even think
unimproved.
the Street, unless they look on a Google or a map.
Yeah.
Don't know it's the street, but.
So the landscape of box. And the only time that.
Right, the only time we,
Wait, that's.
and I know the property does pinch on the other side. There's sort of a V in a little bit. Yep.
Just for clarification, so who owns that street? Is it the borough or the boroughs, right? So we plow that and stuff or no? No.
We really don't.
It's really
Okay.
unimproved. It's gravel.
It's all
Yeah.
gravel. It's
Yeah,
gravel
no, I know
street.
where it is. I was just,
I mean, it's basically a right of way that's never been, a road's never been constructed.
So we make, the landscaper, we privatize the landscaping for our properties. He parks up 20 minutes from there. Memorial Day, Labor Day, Veteran Day events, that's, you know, the guys are there.
Yeah, 4th of July.
Well, yeah, those, but nothing that we couldn't just park them in the back of our house.
Well, and they, even if right away we take it, it's still.
Right.
Yeah, so
Right.
it's-
Something
that's the
to
way it
think
is.
about. And the only reason I bring it up is the applicant wants to have it. And that was to happen. I don't know if that necessarily. If we're aware of it and you.
Okay. Yeah, I don't see that, making that a condition.
I'm not suggesting.
Right. Okay.
So that if there were an action later by the borough, it would lessen.
Lessen the variance. Wouldn't want us to keep that and have to come back to
Right.
beneficial there.
Right. Yeah, it's a more conforming structure
That's right.
at the end of the day.
Just some housekeeping, just let's mark this photograph that was presented. A1. Application.
This house is currently listed for sale.
Oh, yeah, I just put on. the market. See what happens, you know, take advantage of the.
Build something and then sell it.
I don't know what the plan would be. Most likely that would be the plan to sell.
It otherwise meets the height standards and whatnot, Mike? Or did you want to go over your report and? Over here.
I think they're the typical comments. The deviations were, you know, some amendments that are needed to. You know, we would ask that they put the overall dimensions. We heard some testimony regarding this. Indicated that if trees were to come down and get the permits when necessary. They got rid of the one of the new spotlights out there that they were. No spotlights up on the eaves.
No, no spotlights.
It's the stormwater calculations. Yeah. We were recommending that some of the sidewalk along the side be placed and updated.
Mhm.
And, you know, 4.9 and other approvals that would be, most of the other approvals that would be required should the board approve this. Reach the threshold. required for the other.
When the applicant's willing to do all that.
Yeah.
Want to hear it on the record?
Yes.
Okay, questions from board members on what we've seen? I think it would be my personal view, it looks like it would be an improvement. Would be building a structure that better suits the surrounding buildings and whatnot.
Yeah, I
There's
tried to
some-
have the house kind of designed to kind of fit that.
Right.
you know, kind of similar to what's there now.
Right, yeah, you don't want to stand out.
Yeah.
We would want that. Good.
My only one, but, can you give us some idea on the colors? I mean, having none of the neighbors
So-
here is a very
so-
good sign for you.
So since the
They're
white's
very
gonna,
interested
yeah,
people.
yeah, so since the white's gonna go out, I'm thinking the charcoal gray. I'm gonna do a charcoal gray with probably the gable ends will be white. Everything else will be charcoal gray. And all the windows, I mean,
We'll be
they're
changing the
originally gonna be
stucco,
black
snow
windows,
on.
but everything's gonna end up being white. Yeah. And then the stone, of course, the stone's gonna be on the bottom and the
Right.
front. And probably, I think the plan does show stone.
It does,
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Oh, your picture shows it.
Yeah,
too.
your
So-
picture
So the
shows
stone will be in the front where the porch is in the front and then about 2-3 feet high.
Around it, yeah, the one side.
The columns will be tapered. I mean, it shows straight columns here, but I'm gonna do tapered columns. Black and the roof will be black. And standing seam roof will be black.
Okay.
Like the way you see the plan here, like the vertical siding will be white and everything else will be charcoal.
Board members' questions?
So you can have two egress windows in the basement.
First window?
Yeah, A1 shows side with windows.
A 5 won't be egress windows, they'll just be regular basement. Just 3 of them there.
Yeah, that looks like.
Yeah, if I do egress windows, I'll probably have to put a well in there. Well, actually, they do show it on the. Most likely on the sun one. That was then telling me put in a well, drainage, I'll have to drain that out, down to the footing drain. So no. 32 by 24. 24 high, 32 wide.
So there's no egress from the basement, the outside, even to the rear?
I mean. You honestly didn't really think about it. Probably a good idea to have egress windows in the basement, somebody. Future. You know, let's keep the plan the way it is.
Possible bedroom use.
I mean, we could, I mean, the house is pretty big. So it'd be, you know. Basement will be finished too. The way you see on the plan, it'll be just one giant room.
I just, people, when it's up to a two-family situation.
like a nondescript two-family. That's the concern.
I'm open to either way though. Not great. You need a windows could be small. Permits, we could have the window.
I'd be a lot more comfortable with showing regular casement windows, not egress windows down there.
A regular basement
Building
hopper
upon
window,
Patty's.
like a hopper window, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
building
That's
upon
that's
Patty's
fine with me.
concern.
I mean,
Okay.
I agree.
Good catch.
it's actually more work to do a window like this, because you gotta build a well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right,
it
you
is.
You gotta put the
Exactly.
drainage in for the well, it's gotta get connected to the footing drain, which is gonna go through the sump pump.
It's just that if you choose not to live there and you sell it to somebody and they look at that, that has the potential just to have what I'll call, for lack of a better word, illegal two-family house. Okay, so that's really where we're
Yeah.
going with this, okay?
No problem.
So I feel a lot more comfortable with just single casement, regular. Windows. please. And I would, Council,
Good point.
that's a condition of approval. Okay.
And the basement will be finished.
Right.
Yeah.
That's,
It'll be just one
yeah,
giant
that's
room
not
where
an
you see on
issue.
the plan.
Yeah.
Right.
That's not an
I'm
issue.
not even sure if the furnace room's gonna be there, but it's probably just gonna be, what you see there, just one big. Sheet rock on the outside walls, ceiling sheet rock.
Again, this neighborhood is primary, correct me if I'm wrong, everybody, this neighborhood is primary. single family,
Yeah.
most of it in this particular zone.
Mhm.
Do you have an idea of if the application gets approved of when you would be starting this project?
Oh, I would start. Probably, I mean, by the time the resolution gets passed, right? the October, January.
So it would potentially be completed by the Memorial Day timeframe.
Memorial Day? I just built the house down to the shore. And I got it done by the 4th of July. It started in March. It was modular. That house is modular. So
Yeah.
I had a head start. So roughly, this house probably would take, I'd probably be done, honestly, by the end of the summer, if I start.
What side, where do you think you'd put the air conditioning condensers in this thing? They're pretty
Probably put it
close.
next to the paper street.
You put on that side.
Probably a better solution for it.
Yeah, there's no neighbor there.
I mean, honestly, I think with the width of the lot, I think you're kind of restricted to whatever you were gonna put here, but did you talk to the architect at all about trying to make the house a little bit more narrow to?
Yeah, it'd be like a trailer, it'd be like, basically like a double wide house, mobile home. But, I did the envelope on the property. The way, as you get to, you can only go up to 2,400 square feet to keep that 15-foot setback, so as you increase, this house, and you count everything, like, you don't really just count. Couple porch, count front porch, all that square footage just increases the setbacks to 22 and a half feet. Now you got 22 and a half, even if it was, the paper street wasn't even in there, it'd still be kind of narrow at 22 on each side. You get 44, 45 feet minus the 80. So the paper street, you got 35 plus the 22, that's 57. You're looking at probably, and then if it's going to be a bigger home, you would have to kind of make the house longer. So as it gets to that section of the middle of the lot, where it kind of narrows in, now you gotta go narrow with that house. So the house would look like a train.
Yeah, I don't think you're ever gonna be able to avoid the problem of the narrowness in the middle of the lot. I guess, my question was more, did you look at trying to eliminate some of the square footage to kind of, you're still gonna have a variance, but to kind of lessen the variance, like the covered porches? I mean, you have enough yard in the back where they could put a patio or something behind it without that covered porch in the back. Taking that away, could that potentially eliminate one of the
Really
variances?
not
Not
that
the
much
side
square.
yards, but.
Yeah, 215 square feet. I mean, I think the house itself is 3,000 square feet. Once it hits that, it already went up to that 22 and a half foot setback. I mean, I'm a little, I wish I had the paper I had where I could see it. It's very, very, and it's difficult to use bathrooms upstairs, then you gotta rearrange hallways, staircases.
I think to Joe's point, we're sort of starting with a clean slate here, so we're trying to make it as conforming as possible. Yeah, I think that's the board's view on sort of this
Well, I
new
understand, yeah.
raising all
I
the stuff
tried
there.
to figure out what I could do without going to
Yeah,
the board.
That's why we're asking these questions.
Actually, the easiest thing would have been to renovate the house, because I'd be able to get a garage, the way the house was, I'd be able to renovate the house, add some square footage to the house, and I'd be able to put a 3-car garage in the back. And I wouldn't have to come. But the house is very old. It's not worth trying to save that.
Essentially
It's not worth trying to
raising
save
it
the house
anyway.
up.
Right. As a practical matter, you have nothing there.
The house, I would have to reframe the whole entire floor. I don't even know what insect or weather damages to back section of the house. Terminal infested. Front porch is totally dilapidated.
Yeah, I drove by and
Yeah.
saw that's about to crash.
The house is so unlevel, I would have to rip off every floor and reframe everything, you know? And the basement's basically a dungeon. It's probably like, I don't know. 10 feet.
Does
Right.
eliminate the fact though that, I mean, when someone takes down a home, a house, ideally, we suggest that you try and, conform to the existing code and setbacks.
It's an opportunity.
It's a perfect opportunity to start from scratch. I understand this is a strange and unique lot for lots of reasons, though.
It wouldn't be so bad if the increase. Too, so once-
There's a reason.
Yes.
Is there a reason for that?
Yeah. Yeah, on some of the reconstructions, like a number of years ago.
Block out other people's light and
Yeah.
sun and.
That slight scale.
And yet we hear variance requests when people hit those maximums, and if it's not too egregious, we generally allow.
Like I said, the house that's there now, it's, the width of that house is probably about 2.5 feet less than what I'm proposing.
What you're proposing.
That this house is set back. They hug the paper street.
Yeah.
Because of the concrete setback.
Yeah, and you're moving it slightly over, so
I'm moving it over in the sun.
more of the center, yeah, I got it.
I think it'd be better because you do have that driveway there. It's not the driveway, you have the access to the
Right.
paper street.
Did the neighbor on the left see the actual plans, or they just get the notice?
It's just selling that. They definitely got the notice, but. Yeah, I don't even know. Except for, actually, I do know one on Dallas.
You don't currently live in town, though, right?
Hmm?
You don't currently live in town, right?
No.
Okay.
Board will open it up to the public just to, as part of the process. Any members of the public wish to be heard on this matter? All right, hearing and seeing no public response, I'll bring it back to the board. Any other final or thoughts before we move on to the vote?
I mean, the existing house that's there now is pretty close to the neighbor's garage, just looking at it on Google. It's pretty, I know it's 24 feet, but I guess with the vegetation and everything, it looks a lot closer. Now you're moving it even closer. I don't,
Yeah, that may be a situation where the neighbor garage is too far to the side.
It's about, looks like it's about 3 feet.
It's the same, 4.3 or whatever, so, if that's right.
I'd almost feel better if the house moved back close to the footprint where the other one was, closer to the paper street where you're not gonna have any.
If I kept it at 22 point.
Yeah, you'd be like 8 feet.
Setback, I mean, I would only need the variance for the street.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, I thought the house would look better centered on the property. Which, like I said, you have that curb cut. the paper street.
And the neighbor,
But I'm open to it. If you want me to keep that same as the house that's there, So I keep the 22.5 setback. Up to that. and then Street. That's my variance. Street would be, so right now, that paper street, it looks like it's part of my property anyway, so.
That's kind of what I'm saying, because that line's imaginary, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I'm
no,
aware.
You know
I-
where it is.
Yeah. But when you plan the process for these houses, you know, you put things on paper, like middle,
Yeah, no, I get it.
The property to the left looks like the driveway is right up against the property line to that garage in the back. Yeah. So that gives you some width of the driveway aspect in terms of structure. Closing on the structure, other than that garage, it sits too close to the property line. That is a pre-existing condition, I'm assuming.
Any of the board members kind of feel?
I
same
feel that way too. I think it eliminates another variance and is, I mean, it's more in line with how we feel about new construction.
and also if they did vacate the street, it gave me 25 feet. Property.
Well,
It would end up being a side setback. I want to use 22 feet. But.
You're in.
Just really should or can take that into consideration.
right,
as
no,
a
I know.
Future decisions
Right.
by the mayor. and council. So that really should be, considered as part of this application.
So the feeling of the board that the property or the proposed should be shifted slightly towards the paper street or not? There are strong feelings one way or the other than Joe, you seem to be advocating that.
I mean, I kind of would feel better that way because I think what he's gonna do is a nice addition to the neighborhood compared to what's there now.
Yeah.
I'm just concerned that it's gonna appear so much closer to the neighbor. You know,
To the left.
yeah, to the left. I mean, knowing that, you know, the borough owns the paper street to the right. You know, people walking by don't know where the property line actually is. You know where it is because it's on paper. I would feel better with a tighter variance closer to a street that we know is not gonna get developed compared to having it a variance on both sides, if possible.
Chairman, I can send you a position if there's a same way, if the applicant's okay with it.
I would make it a condition.
So how close will we get? If we do that?
7.8.
It's 8.8 now.
That's what it would end up being.
7.8 feet to the property line with
property
the
line of the
paper
paper
street. So
Yeah, and it's 8.8 now.
so visually, you don't, yeah. I wouldn't think the borough's gonna be turning that into a street. Our lifetimes.
It wouldn't be any closer than the frame shed.
Yeah. Yeah, okay.
Structure, right?
Yeah.
But it would, you know, visually give you separation between.
The open space
two
to the right
areas,
right.
A structure on the left and.
and an open space park to the right.
I mean, that's kind of the charm and feel of Allendale, right? A little open space. You don't want real tight houses on top of each other. I mean, that's just my thinking. You know, even if the borough retains ownership, it's still, it's a road.
Still
I don't think it's ever
visually, yeah.
gonna not be a road of some sort, so. I imagine
It already is an existing condition.
So it seems to be a general in favor of that. Shifting slightly to the right than towards to the borough park side. With the structure, so it's not quite, it's not gonna be centered exactly, but it's visually,
You
maybe
want me to
more.
Keep it out, what the setback would be? What is it, 22? 22.7,
For the, what's there now?
So
No,
right now,
the
I'm
minimum,
proposing a 15-foot setback, and if I did a 22.7,
so you're gonna add
I don't
some,
need a side setback variance. I'm only
Right.
looking for that.
you just
that
need one.
And then if I do at 22.7, it's gonna be about that 7.8.
I would
On the
prefer
right
that.
side, yeah, okay.
I don't think you have to go too crazy and go all the way to the property. I would do the minimum, my suggestion. Well, 22, or maybe 22.7, 23 feet, something like that.
So the result would be that the applicant agrees to withdraw the request for a side yard setback variance on the left
Left
side,
side.
so that that would be in conformity with any building plan submitted. Variance that we would be seeking would be the corner lot issue, or basically the front yard on paper street.
Yes, that's correct. That would be my,
Sounds a lot better when you say it, Chris.
And the applicant's willing to do that.
Yeah.
All right. Chris, catch up with his notes here.
so I to make that motion, Mr. Chairman, unless there's other comments.
When we have Chris verbalize a bit, then we could do the motion.
I know he's better than I am.
So if I'm understanding the sense of the board on this, then any resolution of approval would include that there would be non-egress windows in the basement. There would be improvements to the sidewalks in front of the property. The standard and usual conditions as laid out in Mr. Freeland's memo of September 10th. Drainage, and working with the borough engineer on that. The only variances that would be approved would be for the excess floor area ratio and the corner lot / front yard variance relief adjacent to the paper street. So the left side yard setback would be set at 22.7. That would be the motion.
I would second it.
So I'm happy to make that motion, Mr. Chairman, as Chris so elegantly said.
Okay.
I'm not gonna try to repeat it. I'm not gonna try to repeat it.
So don't make.
And I second.
Second, so discussion on the motion?
No, and again, just as we normally do, if there's any on-site modifications, working with the engineer within reason. Okay. I know it's
Yeah,
very
that's
broad.
pretty standard.
Yes. Yeah.
Language that we use anyway.
I think it's gonna be a nice addition to the neighborhood compared to what's there.
We'll move to a vote then. To approve.
Secretary Delavatio,
Yes.
Board Member Davis,
Yes.
Board Member Kistner,
Yes.
Board Member Lovasolo,
Yes.
Vice Chairman Sirico,
Yes.
Mayor Bernstein,
Yes.
Chairman Quinn,
Yes.
alternate Yakarino,
Yes.
alternate Ford.
Yes. Okay. Motion carries and passes. We'll have the usual caveat from
Right,
our
as we
attorney.
said that, as you heard, the resolution of approval with the various conditions that I laid out will be memorialized at the October meeting of the board. And at that time, you can pull permits and start your work.
Apply full demolition permits.
You can do that beforehand.
In the meantime.
Anything related to the variance will be issued until October.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank
You
you.
wanna knock that down? You go, take that permit, you wanna knock it down? Maybe I'll save a couple dollars. in the tax. It's several less phone calls I get a week. Are you on a phone call on the property? It's up to you. I cut the grass. Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Okay.
Thank you.
Good night. All right, any other matters to bring up? Chris, you have any updates on Park and Ivy?
No updates. There was a request to accept service of a complaint, but no complaint has been filed.
Okay.
No updates on Park and Rec.
Okay, thank
or
you.
any other,
Anything from the mayor and council's perspective?
We have been very busy. Ida, kept Ron 30 hours a day, but we got through. School opened on time, on its right day.
No.
Soccer opened, right? Yeah, kids were playing ball. 9/11 on Saturday. We had a great ceremony.
It was amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, it was very, very well done. They turned out. Yeah, I mean, things are moving. Things are good. Town looks great, you guys. Both. Ron, maybe that's more you than.
What came at 20 after 7 Friday night when I went to just check on the fountains and they didn't work.
Yeah.
I was not this calm.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Richie's out. Rich McDowell's out from some, yeah, just some surgery I worked on. Just go check. We haven't checked on it because all that storm, it kicked up the mud and everything to the motors. I just called my wife. I said, I'll check the fields. We gotta get the fields ready for Saturday. Can we just go with it? It'll be fine. We just put them on, so check the timer, so maybe you'll set the. Not even a light bulb came on. I was like, oh boy. Said, how do you?
I don't think Ron used.
Order 2 slices of pizza. I'll be home later. So yeah, we got it working.
It looks good.
I applaud the town. I mean, you guys really reacted and, you know, just for the professionalism and the caring. I mean, several of us were at a meeting up at the Red Barn that night.
Yeah, she was fine. Yes.
And, you know, the officers being as great as they are, gave us the warning and we made it, within about 10 minutes?
Yep,
Getting out of there,
we're out of there.
you know, so I mean, that's a testament to where we are, the caring.
I will not, because I always speak, so I think your holidays are always great. You guys make any of these projects, the adventure run easier. You guys come up with ideas I don't even think about. And Tyler, myself and John Gill talking how we get the notices out to the public about each, about roads are closed and stuff. I just got a virtual meeting with the holiday observers, like 13 up there.
There's about 20 of us.
Yeah, there was a bunch
You
of.
were there too?
I was there.
All the guys I respected so much.
I was-
Yeah, the
I was on
alarms
the
are going
Zoom.
off, there's lightning flashing. Yeah. Sipping down some beers. It was good.
Joe, to your comment, I mean, the amount of teamwork, I mean, you talk about a well-oiled machine, even at 2 a.m. that night, I mean, it just, in some respects we were fortunate, but just a great team, something needs to get done. It's not, no one's pointing the fingers, I'll do it, I'll help. I mean, and we've seen that of the residents too. When
Right.
people are in distress, everyone's like, come on over, I have power, how can I help? So, I mean, I think it's, I don't know where, I don't think it starts at the top. I just think it's a general feeling amongst Allendale.
Yeah, that's what makes Allendale what Allendale is. I
Right.
think that's why I think it needed to be said. It's
Mhm.
just the professionalism and the caring. It really,
There's
You can tell it comes from the heart.
email went out today, mostly for the east side, right? The west side got picked up last Thursday, bulk pickup. East side was supposed to be the first, of course, it was just the big Ford storm. Like, you can't get a dumpster. There's trucks that don't drive, not enough drivers.
Yeah.
So Mr. Zelli actually got it hooked up pretty good for Wednesday. John got the word out today.
Yeah, so they noticed.
Yeah.
So that's full town, right? That's full
Let's
town
go-
storm?
we're gonna try it through the whole town. You gotta make sure I
Okay.
take care of the side that wasn't done first.
Yep.
I drove around, it's not that bad. I don't know if people made other arrangements. Jones did a great job last Thursday.
Yeah, he's the best.
He got everything done on one side. It's amazing how much he got trucked up. He gave them back about four times. Got to sign a free agent contract.
I know,
Next
I
time.
know. He's
Never
so
seen
proud. We
Joe
always
about
talk
that.
basketball.
Very proud about that, but, I think you'd appreciate that.
Yep.
So Wednesday we'll do, bulk pickup. I gotta make sure emphasize, because it is storm related damage only. It's a separate bill. I'm gonna try to put it into FEMA. It's gonna run you guys, not me.
Thank you.
And there was a big volunteer effort at the celery farm apparently too, to
Yeah.
restore the bridges.
Yeah,
and-
right. Yeah, something
that
like
was
that,
good.
you know, all it takes is a Facebook post, you know, who's around and, you know.
Yeah. Dozens of people show up.
Right.
Mike on the total March.
Nothing earth shattering, just a couple of locations.
One less I have to do now. 146 Park was.
That's a
kind of
dilapidated
That was kind of a
property.
regular, that was
Yeah.
kind of a regular,
Yeah.
yeah, the check, that type of thing. Between Mike and Anthony. That stuff gets, the list has got so much smaller.
Anybody else have anything? If not, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
So moved, Delosio.
We have a second.
Second, Sirico.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Meeting is adjourned. Thank you all.